All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Lonnie.
I'm Amberlicious.
We are Untitled Nerd Network. This is, damn it, our fifth episode? Yes. Our fifth episode of Sopranos
Wait,
reviews.
is it the fifth? Fourth.
Fifth.
Okay.
I know we did the fourth.
I couldn't remember.
Really scratched me when I picked her
I told you she didn't want to be held. And... Oh, no.
Anyway.
Anyways.
Yeah, this is the fifth episode of The Sopranos. It's called College. And there are two main points. Number one, this is, we didn't, getting this one out of the way, we didn't see bare breasts in this one, did we?
No.
We saw a backside of the dude's wife when Tony was looking at him in the hot tub.
We did see an ass, but no breast.
Yep.
Well, it's because they were out of town. They weren't at
Bada Bing.
Yeah.
Yep. Which I got a picture of it up there.
Yeah,
We'd like to show that at some point.
I would love you to.
Oh yeah, there is a nipple. Yeah.
Because nipples.
Great.
You'll have to take a picture and put a smiley face on that.
Yeah, I think I did one time when I first got it.
Probably.
So, anyway.
That's ban worthy on Facebook. Put that on Twitter.
Two different stories were going on during this one. Number one, the big one.
There was three.
Kinda, maybe.
No, there was three.
There was College and the priest.
And the man.
Well, that was, I consider that part of the College storyline.
No, it's not.
I got you.
The College storyline is him and Meadows' relationship. That's completely different from him finding that man they saw on TV.
Yes.
Telling all the shit.
Yeah, it was the same guy, wasn't it?
But it was intertwined with that. Yeah, it was intertwined with that because, Meadow thought they could tell each other the truth, and even though Tony did basically tell her the truth
to begin with, while he's out chasing this guy, while she's doing her college interviews, he's making up stories. And Meadow just wants to be told the truth, and I don't blame her. Like, I don't. Like, when your parents especially don't tell you the truth. They think we didn't tell you because we didn't want to endanger you, or it was for your own good. We didn't want to worry you.
She's older now, though. She's about to go to college.
My parents were like that up until the day my father passed away.
It's the point, though.
Yeah.
If you know they're lying. It's different if you find out later. You know what I mean? But when you tell the truth and then you still continue to lie about it, it's just hurtful. But it's especially hurtful when it comes to parents.
Yeah.
Because you're like, well, you want me to be honest with you, but here we are.
A lot of that, and this happens with parents a lot, and a lot of it is the parents aren't wanting to give up that moral high ground that they think they have on their kids. Yeah, because once they admit all this wrongdoing, they almost, I guess, feel like they don't have the moral high ground, and I guess that's important to some extent.
Really? You better quit.
Having to get on his Jubilee for attacking Zero.
And just started smacking the shit out of him. Not hard, I will say, but still. It was just like, oh, Lonnie messed with me. This is what you get. I'm still looking at it.
If she goes back over there, I'm going to have to get up.
Now. During our review.
Having to squirt the cat with a spray bottle.
Anyway. But I also understand where Tony's coming from because he's in a position where it's like the less Meadow knows, the better off she is probably.
Oh yeah.
Because
here's the thing about, and I know this from doing a bunch of reading, seeing a bunch of movies and TV shows dealing with the Italian mob, and the main thing that they believe in is keep your family, keep your business separate. Somebody does a hit on you, your family is taken care of. They don't need to get involved. And you know, it passes down from man to man, you know, father to son.
Absolutely.
But another
as
one
like
is
women and children.
keep the wives and the daughters out of it. And you know, a lot of times, you know, even your son will get involved, but it's a very not friendly to women
it's
business.
Just because, you know, if your wife and daughter get involved somehow, they're easily played to get.
Yep.
Because there's nothing you can do for them, obviously, especially if you're in.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's just. Yeah.
Yeah.
Family's the biggest part there, and
right.
So Tony has taken Meadow to all these places. He sees somebody that he recognizes that was shown on TV earlier in the series.
He's like, I'm gonna get this man.
Yeah, he decides to go after him. He drops,
and they're chasing each other basically because dude figures out.
Yeah.
Quickly.
He goes around asking
yeah.
people, you know, has this guy been looking for me? You know, big guy, New York guy. So Tony, you know, they have like a little incident where Meadow gets drunk when Tony goes out and
looks for the guy and figures out his place of business and that. The guy was gonna shoot, and he claimed it was because Meadow was there, but it's really because there was witnesses there.
Yeah.
You know, he tried to say that. Didn't want Tony to kill him.
Yep.
Boy, that was an.
I've done a lot of reading on this show. That moment was regarded, first 4 episodes of the series, Tony had his flaws, but people looked at him as a respectable anti-hero. And this episode was the one where they're like, oh, you're really starting to like Tony? Well, here's him strangling somebody to death. And it was like a shock to see him go that violent, you know. When it happened, it was a big deal.
I guess when the show was new or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. This is like me rewatching it 14 years later, and I don't find that shocking at all.
The main character of a drama strangling someone to death was
in the mob, and he's a boss.
But it was still a big deal.
People would be surprised about that, and like
he typically has people do that stuff for him. His hands are usually clean of murder. You know.
Well, yeah. Now that he's made it to top rank, absolutely. But like,
just to see it play out.
He wanted to do this himself.
He did, but just to see it play out like it did in this episode shocked a lot of people.
I think he felt like he needed to do this himself to kind of like. But I'm looking. Establish his role even further, especially, you know, when he goes and he tells Junior that he did this. You know?
Yeah, you know what? That's true. Okay, so basically, here's the reception before we get into it. This episode was rated as the best of the series by Time Magazine.
Really?
And was ranked number 2 on TV Guide's top 100 episodes of all time TV. This was ranked number 2.
Nice.
Yeah.
This was a good episode.
Yep. So yeah, you had that story. You know, Tony finally caught up with the guy, strangled him to death. Had some got some cuts from the wire that he used on his hand, and then
Meadow keeps calling him out for it.
Yeah, Meadow knows that something's up, and Meadow, you could see it on her face.
And she's just like, wanting him to tell her so bad.
Yeah, she knows he lied to her. She knows, like, without a doubt.
Won't he tell her?
And you could see that, like, she had that glimmer of hope that things would be different. And then when he lied to her at the end, she just kind of fell back in the seat in defeat. Like, she just, at that point, she was like, well, that ain't going to happen.
Yeah, that's probably why she was calling Hunter. Got home. If she wanted to tell her about her dad.
I don't know what it is. If I don't know, even if I didn't know anything about that woman, Hunter,
Yeah.
there's something about her when I see her face that just,
it is the way she freaking cares.
there's,
She's up to no.
I
Like,
don't know.
seriously.
That it's not, I never say this about anyone, but I honest to God think she was cast because of her physical appearance.
Yeah.
There's something about her facial structure that automatically gives me bad feelings about her. I don't know if it's like some deep down like primate instinct or something.
I don't know.
Like, I don't know. She
Well,
seems threatening or like something's not right. Like you see like a certain plant and it kind of, you're like, ugh, like some of those phobias that people have that they attribute to being passed down through your genetics and your instincts from
yes.
living in caves thousands of years ago.
Okay.
That's what I think about her. I don't know. There's something weird there.
All right.
Like, look her
I'll let
up
you have
and
it.
see if she's like killed somebody or something. I don't know. But anyway,
The other main plot point was Carmilla and the priest.
yep, nothing happened.
No, it almost did. They were very, very close.
Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
That's my line. Damn it. Anyway, can I finish what I'm saying before being rudely interrupted again?
Please.
Thanks. They were going to kiss, and between nerves and alcohol, the priest threw up. And it's not done, though. That's going to happen. But you don't think it's going to happen?
I don't know. I honest to God do not remember how this story plays out.
Oh, it's going to happen. I told you, they're at minimum going to kiss. I thought it'd be this episode, and almost was. But they're at minimum going to kiss.
I personally think that after they went through that, made it through the night without that happening. It came close. Oh, so close.
There's too much tension there, and it was still there the next day. It was still there the next day. She was upset that it didn't happen.
I think he will more.
She was freaking upset it didn't happen. He was more afraid that he had hurt her feelings more than anything.
I think he'll be more likely to not come back around as opposed to. And I think that might cause Tony.
Think more happened.
The fact that he just disappeared and don't come over anymore like that will probably lead to some. I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't remember that happening, and I don't know. It's weird that I don't remember
I
that.
think she's, like I said, I think at minimum they're going to kiss, and that might be the end of it. But
maybe
the real pisser was like they already had the sexual tension going on.
Yep.
And then Carmela finds out that Tony's been lying about his therapist.
That was a big plot point right there.
Being a woman. And he really just didn't want her to think nothing of it. He really just thought would think it was weird. And
Yeah, that's the thing. He has a history, and of course, she just doesn't trust him.
right.
And of course, you know.
If he'd been honest, I think she would have been like, "Oh, a woman? Well, okay, if that's what you need." Like, she's very supportive, especially of the therapist thing. She's extremely supportive because we find out that, even though she likes the life that she has, she really
Doesn't like the way they
hates
get
the
it.
choices that he has to make for that life.
Yeah.
And she's really struggling with it. And honestly, really couldn't have thought that until this episode. I didn't see it like that until she said it and broke down about it to the priest. But
They're doing a really good job of showing that kind of conflict between that and then when she had the conversation with Artie's wife, the previous episode. Yeah, I mean, they're really starting to peel away the layers for everybody right now. And I was also, this is not really important overall to the plot, I guess, maybe a little bit, but I thought it was funny how AJ, at the beginning of the episode told his mom, "I'll be back in an hour." he leaves, and then he like strolls back in the next morning. But he didn't call his mom until like super late
Yeah,
that
it was
night.
super late that night. But you know,
You could tell this was like
she
maybe
also had the flu. He knows that, you know, and so like, well, she's probably sick in bed anyway.
yeah. What's the point?
What's the point? Yeah. So, but when Tony and Meadow get back the next morning after the priest already left, and Carmela immediately tells Tony that, hey, I don't want you to think anything weird happened because his car was here and people talked, yada yada yada. Like, really? Because actually, she told him that after he mentioned that Zeddy was gone. And he said, oh, well, she called him what? Mr. Jughead or something?
Oh, man, oh, God.
Anyway. And, but yeah, he was here. And then told him. And so he was like, wanting to kind of act a little jealous about it. And then she was basically like, oh, by the way, your therapist called, Jennifer. and
then walked upstairs.
Walked upstairs. And he was like, oh, come on. Like, he knew. He was like, I just thought you thought it'd be weird, blah, 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 blah. And I was like,
nope.
I was Lonnie. I was like, that was a play out of my book. Right there. I would have waited until he was mad about me. I would have brought up something worse that I already knew. Like, you don't need to say shit to me because you did this.
Yeah. I feel like that's going to be a recurring theme in this show with her.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. All right.
Well, you also didn't see him go to the therapist office this time.
Because she was sick.
Canceled, though. Yeah, but he was already out of town anyway.
She did make an appearance, though. We didn't see Tony's mom. We didn't see Uncle Junior. This was kind of like a reset episode after all the big power
That's why
shift.
I'm like, when you said this was rated like so highly,
yeah,
like actually to me was like a filler episode.
It was plot so good.
I mean, it was good, but we're fixing to do ratings, and I'm fixing to give this like an 8.
Ah!
But I am. I mean, it's good. It wasn't terrible, and it had some major plot points. Really, it was a filler episode, and it's not as action or plot point filled as the 4 previous episodes.
I give this one a 9.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, I was giving it a 9 because it's not. I agree that it's a really good episode, but I don't consider it the number 2 greatest episode of all time on TV.
Yeah.
Maybe at the time it was released.
Yeah, maybe.
But there's been so much more good TV come on since. But at this point, this episode, in my opinion, might not even make the top 10 Sopranos episodes for me.
No, I could tell you that right now.
I'll wager it'll be in probably the top half. I know it'll be in the top half. Maybe even the top 20, 15, 20, something like that. It's going to be a good one, but I give it a 9. It's 9 out of 10. It is, and again, I like stuff. I like seeing Tony kill somebody. I like the plot with him and Meadow. It seems really realistic, like it very, very lifelike. I could see that being a real.
That's what gave it an 8 for me. Otherwise, it probably would have been like a 7. Like, you know, watching him and Meadow 1-1. Him actually killing someone.
I probably would have cared about the witness protection guy subplot a little more if this episode happened later in the series and the guy that he killed was an established character that we had gotten to know a little bit.
Right.
Like if it would have been like Paulie, like if Paulie would have, turned on him and disappeared for 2 seasons and then.
Yeah, that'd been more interesting.
Yeah, and then he sees it, he's like, oh, is that him? But I get they had to kind
They
of
had to kill the rat right then and there.
yeah, they had to establish this and make this happen. So yeah, pretty good, but a 9, not a perfect episode to me. But I could see why when this first aired, people were just so losing their minds over how good it was. But in the grand scheme of things, and having seen the full series, it's not up there like it was. It didn't age quite well.
That's it.
It aged pretty good, but it didn't get better. It fell off a little bit, but not so much that made it a bad episode.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it. We'll see y'all next time. Next time is episode 6 of the series, and I'm trying to see if there's like anything special about it. Actually, I don't even want to know anything about it at this point. I was just looking to see if there was like a quick little synopsis of, Tony visits the junkyard or, something like that. Okay. All right. Anyway, we'll see y'all next time. I'm Lonnie.
I'm Amber.
And we are Untitled Nerd Network, and we'll see everybody for the next episode.